Hi, Alex. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking the time to be here. As you know, we're opening up enrollment into the association again soon, and we like to talk to associates who transitioned successfully, such as yourself. So maybe you can just start by telling us the position and company you're working with now.
So I'm working with Bruker Nanosurfaces. It's a division within the larger Bruker company. So we specialize in atomic force microscopy, uh, optical and stylus profilometry, nanoindentation, and tribology. And we also have a fluorescence microscopy division.
Oh,
And
great.
I'm working under AFM probes, so atomic force microscopy probes. I'm their inside sales professional. So my official title is marketing senior representative. So that's like my long title. Maybe I sell AFM accessories under $10,000 and a few other things
Great.
related to stylus and optical profilometry.
Fantastic. Quite the background and quite the position that you're in now. So you're successful. You know this job's a great fit for you. I know that you're enjoying it. My first question though is, after talking about where you are now, if you can rewind and think about the challenges you were having in your job search, or if you think about the most difficult moments, maybe it's like a technical moment that was difficult, like how to craft your resume, or maybe it was like an emotional moment that was difficult, just not knowing what to do. Can you tell us what those challenges were for you?
So pretty much it was more of an emotional because I was like working on a very narrow topic for my PhD. I was looking at the biophysics of yeast prion peptides.
Wow.
So I was using atomic force microscopy as an application, as one of my applications, but the main thing I could really find easily, at least within academia, were teaching positions. So I was going from one adjunct teaching position to another. So I went from working in the lab to being in the classroom.
Mm.
And I had no teaching background. They hired me just based on my credentials in biology and chemistry. So I was teaching that for a couple years, and I got proficient at teaching, and I enjoyed teaching and working with people, as opposed to just sitting in front of a bench all day and not interacting with people. I did like the human interaction.
Mm.
However, it's hard to find a full time teaching position in academia. So I was beginning to look at my options, and I had like at this point, by the time I joined Cheeky Scientist, I'd already been looking for jobs for 3 years.
Wow.
So, and I was getting Facebook ads, I was getting all the advertisements through the email looking for jobs. And I was also finding Facebook ads, but I was also on PhD Comics. So between either Facebook or PhD Comics, the advertising there, I clicked on it, apped it into the email list. It was like a couple months. And then I saw these very testimonials, and I decided to join Cheeky Scientist.
Mm. And so you joined Cheeky Scientist because you were kind of stuck on your academic career path, like a lot of PhDs. So you're
I was
looking for
stuck.
help on where to
I was
where to
just
start.
looking at I was looking into anything really. I was looking to see what was out there other than what I'd already been getting.
Mm. And so you joined the association. What did you notice kind of immediately? What are some of the earliest things that you recall about joining in terms of the materials or the group?
So the first thing I noticed was the Facebook group, and that it was an active Facebook group. Because I joined a few like LinkedIn and Facebook groups where it was like PhD to consulting, and they weren't very active. But one thing I noticed about the Facebook group, it was constantly active, and people were asking all sorts of questions. Um, and I've also been in a lot of support groups on Facebook where there's like a lot of crosstalk in here. It's sort of structured that, okay, this is people were telling us exactly what they were looking for. They're like, ask, this is what I'm looking for, or share, this is what worked for me. So it was really structured,
Mm.
uh, unlike a lot of groups I've been in, uh, Facebook wise. And then having the directory to find other cheeky scientist associates in my area through the website was really good. And we even had like an informal meetup in my hometown
Wow.
for the cheeky scientists.
So you had a cheeky meetup in your hometown.
Uh, Informally, we were all going to the same school,
Oh, great.
University of Nebraska, so we decided to have some meetups.
That's great.
We had one somewhat formal meetup because they were having a forum for industry jobs through the Alumni Association, so we went to that as well as. So we met, the three of us that were in the group met around that time.
Fantastic. And so the network obviously helped you. You liked how responsive the group was, how active it was. What about the materials? What helped you the most in terms of the materials?
The transition packet.
Hmm.
So the transition packet that you print out and do the exercises. So uh, that helped me get through a lot of mental barriers
Hmm.
that I had with the job search. So, and also helped me get clear what I really wanted to do with my career rather than uh, just what I'd been doing. So there's like a lot of explanations of going with uh, strategic plans and tactical plans. And I noticed I've been just doing a lot of short-term thinking, like what do I need to do to get through the like next month with jobs, and looking more like the big picture. And that, I think that helped me open up to more different possibilities than just considering the narrow academic path that I was on.
Yeah, that's great. It's really good to hear. And I think a lot of PhDs struggle in knowing what their strengths are and what that professional lifestyle they actually want to have is. So I'm glad you went through that. My last question is, did you have any reservations before joining? And if so, how were they alleviated after you joined?
So the reservations I had was, since there was a lot of other PhDs,
Hmm.
I, and being a PhD myself, was all these people were going to be really stiff and really unfriendly
Yeah.
because because I was thinking it was going to be, I was thinking of like professors, a lot of professors aren't very friendly or helpful, and there's like, okay, this is going to be a bunch of other PhDs, so
Yeah.
are they going to be friendly or are they going to be somewhat cold and indifferent? But it turns out they were really friendly and really helpful, and so that was my misconception, was it was going to be like another getting a bunch of PhDs together and they're all going to complain. But there was not a lot of complaining. Yeah, people post their challenges, but there's like a lot of support that
Fantastic. Fantastic.
you don't see other places.
Well, thank you, Alex. I really appreciate you sharing, and it's great to watch your success. And I know that we're going to see a lot more from you in the future, and we look forward to watching your continued career trajectory continue to climb. So, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.